Welcome to Local SEO in 10. This is your go-to podcast for answers about how you can grow your local business online, easily and quickly. Brought to you by local SEO experts, Magnified Media in Walnut Creek, California. In each 10-minute episode, our digital marketing expert, Adam Duran, answers your questions on how you can get more leads for your business fast. Remember, if you're not taking care of this part of your business right now, you can bet your competitors are. And now, here's our host with the questions, Jamie Duran, and our expert with the answers, Adam Duran.
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jamie.
How's your week going?
It's going good. It's going good. I have a great topic for this week.
Very good. What is it?
All right. This is a topic that it comes from a question from a client. They've been in business for like 35 years.
Wow.
And so they had a website when no one else had a website, pretty much. I mean, their website, very old. And what they came to us with is this super old website that it's been through multiple agencies to get to us, right? So over the years. And so it came with these, I'll put it in quotes, like landing pages for their service areas. So sometimes you might see these on older websites and even, I guess, more recent websites where people list their service area cities. And then if you click on those city names on their website, you'll be taken to a page on their website that'll just basically talk about that city and then maybe their service, and then that's it. And weirdly, if they're older, those web pages rank. And so the idea for that owner is, hey, we need to do a bunch more of these. And then that way, whenever anyone searches on Google, we're at the top. We're at the top for that city name and my service, right? What do you think, Jamie?
I don't think it works out that way.
I think you're correct. However, for these older pages that have been indexed, it does actually, especially if it's in a kind of a low there's low competition for those keywords for that service in that city. Yes, those pages might rank. However, you have to be aware that when you're going to create one of these pages now that you've heard that, you're like, okay, now we should do that. Understand ranking your Google business profile, that you're listing with the stars next to your name, that won't happen. Okay, so that your Google listing won't show up on that top of that page. Your web page may show up, but it's going to be under other businesses' Google profiles. That's number one. Then it'll also be under any ads there and any other Google local service ads. And then you might be under Yelp and maybe a couple like Angie's List or something like that. And then your page might show up if you're lucky. Okay?
Yep.
So now when you think about a person who's searching, and this is in talking to that owner, we have to kind of walk him through that buyer journey, right? So if that page finally does get seen, how much, and on those results, how much traction, how many people actually come to that website for that page? You're going to have to outrank in their mind which of these links that I'm seeing would be able to solve my problem quickest, easiest, fastest, and most reliably. And so you're asking that potential client to ignore every other listing above yours to click on your wonderful page made in 1998. So how likely do you think that would be to happen, Jamie?
Not likely at all.
Yeah, it's pretty much when we look at the traffic for those kind of pages, they rarely get any traffic at all. And so they rarely, they don't really help that business other than the owner will see it and they'll go, yeah, I'm on page 1 of Google. But they're ignoring where the actual traction, where that actual clicks, where that actual business will come from. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So
Sounds like a good strategy so far.
Well, my recommendation is to, if you're going to do these kind of pages, you're going to have to make them really pop. You're going to have to put a ton of effort into them, because the old way of doing this would just be to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So just duplicate every city around you and just change out the name, maybe change a couple words, and then you'll just put them out there. Now, that's the old style way of doing it, and Google definitely penalizes websites who do that. So that means when you put up valuable content now, because you have spammed your website, you filled it with a bunch of duplicate content, then Google most likely will also ignore any other content that you create. So it's weird, but during the last Google helpful update, which was in 2024, they gave us these instructions, and that is, if you have pages that are duplicate or we consider spam, it's going to be more difficult for us to rank your other pages. So that those kind of landing pages that are city specific, they can actually hurt your ranking for your website, even though you as the owner might see that page on Google listings or Google on that Google search page. It's not helping your business as a whole. Weird, right?
Yep.
All right. So I recommend you not do those to our audience who's listening, just because they can be anti-ranking factors. And now, that being said, okay, Jamie, so we've taken in all that. So if you're thinking about doing them, don't. If you've already done them, then you're going to have to, and they've been indexed. That means they show up on Google search. Then you're going to go into those pages and you're going to have to reformat them and give them tons of reasons to become a valuable page. You're going to have to rewrite those pages. And that's ChatGPT can definitely help you do that. I will, in the show notes, I'll put, like always now, I'm putting the ChatGPT or the AI prompts that I recommend that you can use to do that. So go there, go to our show notes. And today you'll see those, after this episode, you'll see those AI prompts. So that way you can visit that page and have ChatGPT kind of teach you how to make that page better. So that way, instead of an anti-ranking factor, it can actually help the website as a whole. That being said, of course, people still are not going to go and click on that page, or not very many of them. If you're in a competitive sector, you're really not on page one anymore. You're way, way down there. And you're, like I said, you're asking a lot of somebody to actually take the time to go to your page when there's so many other like vetted resources above yours. So instead of that, okay, so now we have, if you've done it in the past, here's your roadmap. Go to our AI notes in our show notes. Now, if you haven't done it, don't do them, but instead, I'll tell you how to do what you should do instead. Okay, Jamie?
Yep. Ready.
All right. So what you should do instead is, on your blog, you should start making articles that include those city names. So if there's something specific about that city, like it's a temperate climate or something distinct about that city, you can use ChatGPT once again to try and figure out what would be relevant, how your service would be specifically relevant for that city. And then you can create an article with the city name in that title, and then the service that you're going to be focusing on for that city specifically. Okay. So that way you're creating something that is helpful for the people in that city, and that will also bring in people from that city. It might not show up on that page one of Google, but it has a better chance of doing that. And because it is helpful, people will come to it, and Google won't consider it an anti-ranking factor. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So I know it is if you're a longtime website or longtime business owner with a really old website, you have probably a ton of these pages all throughout your website. I haven't had a client who we've had clients who've been in business for 10, 20 years, and all of them have come to us with these kind of pages on their website. And we have to do exactly what I said. We have to redo all of them. We have to start writing articles that are helpful for people in those areas. And then Google will definitely wake up pretty quickly about how relevant that business is now.
Yep. Well,
there you go.
It sounds like definitely a big project, especially if you have a very old website.
Yeah, but I mean, the old website has a massive ranking factor, and that's the age of that website. That's a big ranking factor. Google loves. If your website's been around for 15, 20 years, I mean, that's a very authoritative signal. So it's pretty. We can turn around those businesses online anyway, their digital presence pretty quickly, as long as we do take care of all of these things. But that having that conversation with the owner and then having to kind of walk him through this, it's a lot for someone who's not technically savvy to kind of understand. And over the phone, whoo, boy, it's tough. So,
well, yeah, and especially if they're, they haven't really gotten a huge amount of business out of their website. They're probably very reluctant to make a lot of changes.
Well, they just don't want to break it. Like their big thing is don't, guarantee you're not going to break it. And I'm like, we're not going to break your website. Don't worry.
But you're not guaranteeing it.
I don't own Google, so yes. But we will do everything within, accepted practices. And this one from the Google, that helpful content update, they went into some specifics there, which they rarely do, which is if you have duplicate content, understand that even if you have great content getting created later on, we might not index it because you've trained us to ignore your content. And I mean, that's logical. So
it is a lot to manage for sure.
Well, those older agencies and the older way of doing it. And I definitely see new web designers or web designers who've been around for many, many, many years. They do this all the time still. So if your web designer is saying you need to do this, make sure that you share this podcast with them and let them know, things change. When you learned how to do a website, whatever, 10, 15 years ago, things have probably changed since then. And in SEO, in this organic ranking part that we're talking about, yeah, it's definitely changing and always changing.
Always changing, yep. So if you could see into 1 year into the future so you could design it for that'd be great.
That's what we just did. Yeah. Think about the user, think about that user intent, think about making it useful and helpful. That's what you want to have for each one of your pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
it.
So that easy. All right. Well,
thanks, Amy.
With that, we will say thank you to Adam for, again, giving us some really good information about how to make our website more usable and discoverable by Google and other search engines. And so if you have a question about this topic or any other topic in local search engine optimization, go to our website, magnifymedia.net, click on the podcast button, and then go ahead and put that search term into the search bar. And in most cases, you'll have three to four podcasts out there that you can listen to as well. And then also feel free to share this podcast out, Local SEO in 10, to your business contacts, if they're Chamber of Commerce or networking group. It'd be very, very beneficial. And we try and keep it below 15 minutes. So that way we can not take up everyone's time, but just really deliver the information they need. And then if you did enjoy this podcast, please give us a thumbs up or 5 stars wherever you're listening to it. That will really help us out. And with that, we will talk to you next week. Thanks, Adam.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Local SEO in 10 with Google local marketing expert Adam Duran. Join us each week for answers to your questions on how to best harness the power of the internet to grow your business. Speaking of questions, got some? Message us through our Facebook page, Local SEO in 10, and we'll be sure to give you your answer on an upcoming episode. This episode of Local SEO in 10 is brought to you by Magnified Media, the leading online marketing agency in Northern California, who invite you to grow your business by magnifying your online visibility and credibility. Visit them on the web at www.magnifiedmedia.com. Magnify your business, magnify your profits.